You might come across something as you're scrolling through Twitter or reading a newsletter, and if there's something there that resonates with you that you don't want to forget, you tend to save it, or perhaps you bookmark it, or maybe you download it, or take a screenshot, or copy paste it into a notes page. And because we're often jumping between so many different projects or hobbies or interests, you just don't remember the information that you found. And when I was researching, I obviously was dealing with a lot of information, and going through it quickly and pulling it together, often in a few different ways, was really quite time consuming, as I often had to go through all the different sources and pull out all the bits that I wanted, group them together, and then take stock of them. Not the most efficient way to be using your time. And so one of my overarching plot lines or quests has been, how can I better organize information so that I can find it when I want it? Because to me, that would make it the best way to organize information. Now, we tend to default to organizing information by where we found it, but the most useful place for your information is where you can actually use it. And the level 1 step to start addressing this problem, in my experience, has been having just one place where all of your information ultimately ends up. But the bit of the system that I find most interesting is, how do you grab all of the information that's within all these sources and start to understand how it all interrelates and comes together? Because over time, you tend to accrue a lot of different bits of information and sources for a particular topic. A lot of information you find, there's often quite a lot of filler and a lot of words to read to make one point. And it's really time consuming for you to go back through that source and identify the interesting bits in it. And so there are techniques such as highlighting or things like progressive summarization, which mean that you can draw your attention to that specific idea within the source file. To re-find that information of value, you're still having to open up a file and scroll and browse through it. So now that I'm older, I've discovered that there is a method already very well known and practiced in the social sciences that is exactly for this. And this method is known as data coding. Now, I'm not talking about Python or JavaScript, I'm talking about analyzing words. And this method is all about labeling snippets of text. And you build up a centralized list of all of these labels, which each have their own name or code, hence data coding. And these labels are used to group and categorize text snippets from many different places together based on a shared sentiment or meaning. In many ways, this is very similar to having topics or projects that you might want to collect your information around. And you can add labels in a lot of different note-taking apps by using tags. And making use of these tags removes that step of having to hunt down the specific bits of information that you want within a load of sources that are stored within a folder. That process of coding your data to grab and save and organize the details within a source, not just the source itself, is why we built ProtoList. And let me know if you would like any more info on this data coding method. And thanks very much for watching, and hope to see you again soon.